I think having a female role model in your life is really important, whether it's in your family or your circle of friends or even a public figure, because then you really have a compass.
I totally agree. And I've been lucky because I've had you as one of my greatest role models and in my family.
Did you have a role model? Was there somebody that you wanted to be like when you were growing up?
Well, my Aunt Julia was actually my father's aunt, and she worked for the Wall Street Journal during a decade where most women didn't work. And she was just this very powerful, strong woman. Yeah, I just remembered thinking that work was important, that it was important to have some identity other than just being a wife or a mother, which is all great too, but I knew that it made me want to be both.
My mother was very fragile. I was always looking for strong women, and I looked to them in teachers, but television. And I wanted to be that girl. And but I knew my father would never help me with an apartment in New York. That I knew never even to ask. And also Mary Tyler Moore. I mean, those were really women that I felt were doing it for themselves. They were being creative. They had their own lives.
Do you have any female role models?
My role models are usually challenging the norms and expectations for how women have to act and be. People like Joan Jett, hey, I can rock too,
My mom is one of my role models. Seeing her do so much on her own and not needing a man to do anything to help her, and to kind of reach that level of success that she's reached.
I think my stepfather's stepmother was probably my biggest female role model. She wrote mystery novels and she was a successful real estate agent. She did all these things, but she also would make a huge Thanksgiving dinner. She just showed me so many possibilities that I wouldn't have seen if she hadn't been brought into my life.
Was your mother a role model for you?
She ended up being one because she was working as a teacher when I was growing up, but she didn't really like it that much. But in her 60s, she started doing what she really loves, which is painting.
Really?
And she's been exhibiting a lot of different places
Wow,
now.
how
So
fabulous.
what I've learned from that is that there really is no point in life when it's too late to go for a dream.
I wanted to be different from my mother, and I love my mother dearly. She didn't have any confidence growing up. She couldn't speak up for herself. She was a nervous wreck all the time, and just growing up with that, I was just like, I know that I need to be stronger than that.
We also have negative role models. People who show you a bad example, who you say, okay, that's not what I want to do.
I hate to say it, but my mom was a negative role model. She did instill that in me that, sometimes you just got to give up. And I've had a lot of trouble with depression. I do believe that it is because of the role model that I grew up with.
The area where I'm from, most of the women, they limit themselves and they don't go far beyond to reach their goals and dreams. That's the type of role model I've tried to stay away from and try to reach my full potential in life.
Do you think it's important to have a role model?
It helps. It's important to have attainable role models too. Just people living good, simple, good lives, and you have to be the president of the CEO, and you have to be a lifestyle of the rich and famous. You have to be super successful, thin while you're doing it. I think it's important to just be able to somehow or other be able to be who you are.
Because why reinvent the wheel? It's good to be able to have something to model after. And I think it doesn't have to just be one person. I think that it can be attributes and traits and characteristics, and to look for those different things in different people.